Yeah, there's just what seems to be happening, which isn't really happening to anyone. When there is that sense of being separate from everything, it might seem as if just this is happening to somebody, but it's never really happening to anyone. When the recognition happens and it is seen that there's no one here, there's just what seems to be happening. They are just appearances, and these appearances are empty. There's no one behind anything. Also, the sense of being separate from this, from everything, is just also an appearance in this. It is nothing appearing as the sense of being separate from everything. So, which means nothing is excluded. Everything is included, apparently. There is no separation. Everything as it is, the question, the words, the wind, the rain, the trees, the stories are this already. So things as they are just as they are. But the doer of things is already not there. So I would say this is real and unreal. Unreal in a sense that the separate self is already not there, but there's just what's happening or what seems to be happening, but there is no one behind anything. Everything is an empty appearance in this. So all stories are beautiful because all stories are already just this expressing as stories. There is no doer of any story. Even when there seem to be somebody claiming that I'm a doer, that's also an appearance in this. There's no one even doing that already. Everything is this. There's no separation. There is already no one or nothing to deconstruct already. There's nothing to fall away. There's just this. Something falling away is just this already. There's never really anything that can fall away. There's just what's happening. And what seems to be happening is already not happening to anyone, even when there is a claim that it's happening to somebody. That's already empty. That's just an appearance in this. So an individual or somebody who seems to be looking for this can never really find this because there's no separation. There's already nothing outside of this to find this. This is already not true. every story, every opinion, every suggestion, every thinking is already this. And this can never be known. This is unknowable. What seems to be an individual can never really know this because this is unknowable. It can never be known. Even when it seems as if there is somebody who claims to know, that's already the unknowable or the unknowing appearing as somebody saying, I know, but I know this and that. There can be a knowledge of concepts, of appearances, which is already empty, which is already nothing appearing as a knowledge of concepts or about concepts. There's never really anything to be known here. Everything is already unknowable. The separate knower is already which can never be known. Therefore, there's no real separate knower. It's just this already, which can't be known. That which can never be known. That which can never be grasped. That which can never really be found because there's no separation. There's nothing sticking out already to find this. There's just this. And this is already whole and complete. So the question and the answer is the same because everything is this. Thinking or not is the same because everything is this already. Movement, no movement is already this.
Let me ask you something.
Yes.
So in America, we're facing an election here in a couple of weeks, right?
Yes.
And it's really a situation, feels like a situation, could not be a situation, but it feels like a situation where, you know, if we go down the path of electing Donald Trump, there could really be some terrible things that happen, you know. Exporting immigrants, attacking the rule of law, maybe the end of democracy in the United States, breakdown in international relations, bombs, who knows how far it could go, right? If we elect Kamala Harris, you know, it's certain to be, you know, boring, incremental change. Life goes on in the United States. These two futures are just hanging there, so diametrically opposed out there in the universe for the whole world, right? I mean, because, you know, power of the United States, it's really amazing that there's just like these two futures, you know.
Yes.
And who decides? I keep on thinking, so if there's no me, who decides? You know, maybe both the futures exist already, and it's more an element of what my consciousness experiences, as part of the multiverse. That certainly stems from ideas in physics that people have in terms of simultaneity and what difference does it make ultimately? We might say none, certainly in the long term.
Yeah.
How should we think about it?
So, okay, go ahead.
Pardon?
I think you were talking. Yeah.
I said, how should we think about this? I guess it doesn't matter how we think about it.
Well, I can say, first of all, there's no we to think about anything. And the story may seem to take any direction. Trump may happen to win, or he may happen to lose. But whichever direction the story may seem to take, it's just an expression of this. There might be some apparent people not liking uh, the outcome, the results of the election. Some may seem to like, and those are the opposites. The opposites themselves are already that which is neutral, appearing as the opposites. Some liking Trump, some not liking Trump. Some liking Kamara, some not liking. So just as it is, it's beautiful, because the individuals, or what seems to be individuals themselves, they are already not separate. It's just this already expressing as different people liking a certain politician and not liking a certain politician. So whichever direction it may take, it doesn't really matter. This doesn't mind, because already what seems to be happening is just an expression of this. So even what seems to be different characters it's just this wholeness expressing as different characters. Whether they seem to complain about a certain politician or a certain party winning or not, it doesn't really matter. This doesn't mind.
But this is more this could be more on the level of apartheid, This could be more on the level of, government inflicting massive pain, And just like pain in the body, how we have a perspective of that influences the outcome, right? Uh-oh. There, you're back.
It's just
Sort of.
it doesn't really matter. All stories, even when there is somebody who's not liking a certain story or liking a certain story, both those as they are equally this. There is no difference. There's no separation. There's already nothing sticking out. There is no real Democrats. There's no real
Republicans.
yes. So there might be a speculation that if Trump wins, things will turn out to be bad, only to find out that things become better.
You've all of a sudden gone very quiet. Can you think of why that might be?
Sorry?
Oh, you'd all of a sudden gone very quiet, but then you got very loud. Anyway, sorry. Well, we couldn't hear what you said.
Okay. Yeah, I was saying there might be a speculation that maybe when Trump wins, things will turn out to be bad for America, only to find out that there is a huge change, there's a huge difference in people's lives, in a way. Just making an example, you know, expectations. Many people may expect that, oh, America is going down, only to find out that America is rising again, is becoming great again. Anything may arise. It doesn't really matter.
Well, I think that, there is a situation where sometimes when we have leaders that are disagreeable, then the populace becomes more involved in politics and more involved in trying to, affect change. We certainly saw that before. Yeah.
Yeah, just when we like engage in talking about the politics, I would say, it can be really a history is going to be made when if Trump wins again, becomes the I think history will be made in a way, because there's never a time where somebody who was a president becomes a president again. Has it happened before?
Not taking a 4-year break, no. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's ripping apart families. People are getting exhausted by it, you know. It's more polarizing than anything, I've ever seen, you know. As I was growing up, there'd be debates about things like the war or, civil rights or gay rights or, and people would have different opinions and, there might be heated discussions, but families were never torn in two, you know.
Yeah.
But you're all over. People are just they break ties with their families, hate their neighbors.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, it's get extreme. There was an African country, I can't remember which one. Is it Nigeria? Where two tribes were living together and then you know, disagreeing but living in peace. And then some leader got elected and was just like, yeah, let's kill all those other people. And they just ended up slaughtering these people that had been their neighbors, just like, en masse.
Wow.
I wish I knew that. I mean, I remember hearing the story when I was young and just being really taken by that because people had just turned on people that, they had worked with and, lived their lives by. And,
Wow.
this feels like that, that somehow living similar side by side, getting more and more extreme, and then all of a sudden there's a turning point. I don't know. There was a huge
Yeah.
change. Go ahead.
That's Yeah, when you don't engage yourself with any story, you just watch from that neutral position, just watch everything as it happens, every story. There may seem to be that peace, that silence. When you don't allow your attention to engage with the story, a certain story, things may be seen that it might be seen that what seems to be happening is it's nothing, it's really nothing. But when the attention goes out to a certain story, to analyze it, then it may seem as if really there is something happening and somebody is getting affected or is affected by what's happening or what seems to be happening. But when the attention is in that neutrality, in that spaceless space, everything is seen as just a story. There's no interest in everything or what seems to be happening. But when the attention goes out and engage with a particular story, then it may seem as if there is somebody there, there is that sense of being separate, going on, happening, somebody real, facing a certain situation, not liking a certain party or politics, But when there is that clear seeing for no one, it is seen that everything is just a story. Nothing ever happens. There's really nothing happening. They're just floating appearances. And these appearances are just floating by, just like clouds. When they float in the sky, they float by, peacefully. They come and go. Black, dark clouds, white clouds, green clouds, the rain, the thunderstorms, it comes and goes. It is seen that it's nothing, really.
Yeah, sometimes it kills people. Lots of people. Those clouds can kill.
That is if there are real people there, then it may seem to happen if there are real people. But there are no real people. Everything is just a story. Everything is an appearance. But when it is taken seriously, then it may seem as if there are real people who are dying. There are real people who are being murdered. But, yeah. But it's just a projection. When it is seen that there is no one here, it will also be seen that there is no one anywhere. When it seems as if there's somebody here, then there are others as well. Everything is a projection. But the body is empty. There has never been anyone in the body who has ever taken any decision. There is no one, even right now, in the body who takes decision, who likes certain things, who dislikes certain things. There's already no one there already. Even in the midst of thinking that there's somebody there. In a way, the sense of being separate from everything, it may seem to be supported by the past and the future. You know. But if the question arises, there seems to say, what are you without the past? Is there a you without the past? Without referring to the past?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly. So when the imaginary past is removed, it is seen that, you know, the me loses its supports in a way. The me that is already not there. It's also imaginary. So this isn't special. Yet specialness may seem to appear in the story. Yet the story itself, as it is, doesn't belong to anyone. When it seems as if it belongs to somebody, that's just another story which doesn't belong to anyone. Yeah. If it seems as if there's somebody here who's pointing to something, that's just a story. That's just an appearance, which is already not belonging to anyone. It doesn't belong to anyone. It's just what seems to be happening. It's just this, which is nothing expressing as that already. So I would say it's okay to feel special. It's also okay not to feel special, because both are equally this. There's no one doing any of this already. So if it seems as if there's somebody who's special, it's just this already. If there's no specialness, it's just this already. So there's already no one who can claim to do anything because the doer is already not there. Even when somebody is claiming to have done anything, it's okay because everything is this already. There's no separation. I think I'm gonna move here. There's an activity here that is happening.
Okay.
Yeah, some insects. Just gonna move to sit there. It's possible. Yeah, I think it's better here.
The smoke is cleared out.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but I'm not sure about the connectivity here. Let's give it a second.
Oh, all right. All right.
Yeah, you're still pretty stipply. Can you tell where the
Let me see.
wireless might be coming from?
No.
My guess is that if you get next to that window, would be better. Are you near a church? That's probably better.
No, it's just a building. Another building. Okay.
There was a cross in the background. So
So,
that's probably for medical. Okay, let's give it a try.
all right.
Garbage
Remove
bag
this.
and Kosi.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
All right, why don't you say something?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it seems to be all right. Let's try this.
Yeah. Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, there is only nothing speaking to nothing. There is nothing listening, nothing speaking. So there is nowhere to get to. There is nothing to achieve. There is nothing to fix. There's nothing to find. And there's nothing to hold on to. There's just this, nothing happening already for no one. So it's okay. It's okay to seek, to look, to meditate. There's no wrong or right with anything, because everything as it is an expression of this. When seeking happens, there's already no one seeking. When meditation happens, there's already no one who's meditating. When bliss happens, there's already no one who's doing it. Everything is this already. There is only nothing happening.
The experience of nothing can vary drastically from place to place, depending on how the story unfolds.
Yeah.
At some level, if it's all us, then we create our own reality, even if there's no we. Yeah. Collectively, this nothingness is the doer. Do you know what you probably never heard of this? Have you ever heard of superposition?
Superposition.
Yeah. So
No.
when scientists study uh, things that are very small, nanoparticles, um, uh, there's different states that they can inhibit. For example, if you've just got an electron running around a proton at the atomic level, um, it can be basically anywhere in a cloud around the proton uh, that can be characterized by probability, right? So the 1% chance here, 1% chance here, maybe 5% chance there. You can characterize that all the way around. Um, um, it's a the atom. Um, if you treat that like a cloud with a state of probability, you can do math on it that is very handy, that they can use to do a lot of different things. But essentially, um, through experiments, at this point in time, the conventional wisdom is that the electron is like a cloud around the proton, right? That things can be more than one thing at once, more than one position at once, and that there's superposition. My, my understanding of this is all very tenuous. But essentially, a single thing at the subatomic level can be more than one thing at once.
Mm.
Moreover, the way that you look at it can actually inform what it is. So if you have this thing that has superposition, more than one thing, more than one state at the same location, if you treat it like, it's spinning left, then it will spin left. If you treat it like it's spinning right, then it will spin right. But it's spinning left and right at the same time. That kind of thing.
Yeah, I hear you.
To me, action is like a massive superposition. Both these
Yeah.
futures are out there, and on any level, um, you know, stories are a matter of perspective, right?
Yeah.
There's so many stories, and they're a matter of convention of the language that's used, and the matter of the way that people think of things, people that don't exist, traditions passed down, in terms of whether you look behind you and call that a tree or a bush or whatever, right? The way that the way that we see things, and the way that people experience things who go through the same thing can be vastly different. That you only realize, much later when the stories are told. So
Yeah.
at some level,
Yeah.
I feel as if the story that I bring to the election is important, even though I might not exist. The story is important.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
And to say story is important, it's okay. There's no wrong or right. Even though stories as they are just floating by and they can never be seen. They can never be grasped. Are just as they are, or what seems to be stories are just floating by. You cannot grab the story. You cannot see the story, but it is just a floating appearance that never even appeared. I don't know.
But you can influence the story. You can. You see that cloud is black, that cloud will be black. If you see that cloud is white, that cloud will be white.
Yeah, but the cloud as it is not even a cloud. That's another story. That's another label. It's it's nothing.
Yeah.
Not even nothing, because that's just another label. It's wordless. There are no words to describe what this is. So stories are okay, and stories may take different directions. May seem to be many stories, but they're just floating appearances that never even appeared. Things as they are, or if I say this is a tree, it doesn't really mean that it's a tree. It's just an opinion. This is nothing.
Right.
Yeah, but this is how wholeness, or what is, expresses itself as stories, objects, seeking, getting closer, trying. But there is no one behind anything. There's no one doing anything. It's just what is this expressing as that. So it's okay. It's okay to disagree. It's okay to agree. It's okay to not to like a certain party or a certain politician. That's just how this expresses itself beautifully.
I mean, if you use the metaphor of a dream, right? If it's like a dream, dreams are ephemeral, right? There may not even be
Yeah.
a dream, but the dream is there, whether or not there's a dreamer or not. The dream is experienced, right? It's ephemeral. There might
Yes.
not be any solidity to it, but it happens, right? The non-existent dreamer influences the dream, right? Based on what happens to them in their life, and they can even control the dream. Even if that dreamer does not exist, the dreamer can control the dream. Right?
Yeah. It may seem as if the apparent dreamer is controlling the dream, but you know,
It doesn't exist anyway.
it doesn't exist.
This may
Yeah,
not
it's
connect, but there's hurting here.
but who's feeling it?
Maybe nobody is feeling it, but
Mm.
depending on what happens, there could be more or less of it, right? The pain.
Yeah. And something can be done about it, even though there's no one there.
Right.
You know. Yeah. So to say there's no one anywhere, no one here, it doesn't mean that there shouldn't be anything that is being done. You know. A step might be taken to go and see the doctor, or another step might be taken to do a spiritual healing, to heal the body, you know. But there's already no one doing any of that. It's just wholeness expressing as somebody doing something about the pain that is being felt. Some There might be somebody who there might be that sense, or when there is that sense of being separate from everything, it may seem as if somebody is there trying to fix the body, to heal the body. And then in another case, when there is no sense of being separate, they might be just healing the body. They might be just going to the doctor, but no one, when it's also seen that there's just no one there doing any of that. There's just going to the doctor, there's just healing the body happening. That's like that. Whether there is a sense or no sense, those are both equalities. It's just an expression of this already. But the sense of being separate from this, the sense of separation is an illusion, is already not there. And there's nothing to be done about that. Because the sense itself is imaginary. That which is imagined can never really be gotten rid of, because it's already not there. It's imagined. It's just an imagination. There's just freedom
But you can
already.
imagine something different.
Yeah.
Something different can be imagined, I'll say. Rather than putting
Yeah, that
the
may seem to happen as well.
yeah. Thus the power of prayer.
Sorry, come again?
Thus the power of prayer.
Yeah. Yes. Um, there's let me show you something here. There's a huge tree.
Wow. That's
It's very
gorgeous.
huge.
Thick
Yeah.
tree.
Maybe it's 60 years old, or I don't know. It's
I
very
bet you,
old. Let
bet
me
you older than
let me
that.
get closer to it. Yeah, let me get closer. Maybe they will explain it more. Yeah. I don't know. Can you read? Yeah.
No, I can't. Yeah, I guess now it doesn't say how old it is. It says Southeast Asia, Australia, and New Zealand, Corey pine, and then it's got some biological names to it. Wow, look at that split. How far up does that split go? Is that part of the bark?
Yeah, it's very far.
Gorgeous. So
Very huge.
if you were to wrap your arms around that, how wide is that? Is that like 3 feet?
Let me try. Yeah. 3 feet,
Yeah, that's
3
amazing.
to 4 feet. It's very huge.
I do love a big tree. Oh, look, it probably caught fire at one point. The bark on the side that's towards you now, you can tell it's probably caught in
Yeah.
fire. So in California, they've got the biggest trees in the world.
Sorry, come again?
In California, they have the biggest trees in the world. And
Wow.
and there's parks where they think that some of the trees are like 1,000 to 2,000 years old.
Wow.
And you can go around
That's
them. It's amazing. I went there with my mom and my family once, you know. It's called like the Valley of Kings.
wow.
The trees are
That's
like,
very huge.
yeah.
It must be huge.
Oh, they're huge. It's amazing. It's really amazing. Yeah. So,
So
and
the way it's so big, it might sometimes look like a stone of some sort, like a rock, a huge rock. Oh,
they're like skyscrapers.
wow.
I mean, they might be like on the ground, they might be like, 30 feet in diameter in diameter. Yeah. So, I mean, you can go and get your whole family taking a picture in front of them, and there's plenty of tree on either side. They're just huge.
Yeah.
And then they just go up and up and up. And sometimes, what reminded me of it, sometimes, there'll be fires in those valleys, you know, and they'll have
Mm.
burnt and then they'll have survived. And you can tell areas where the bark and parts of the tree have essentially died, but the tree lives on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
amazing. It's amazing.
That's beautiful. It's beautiful.
The only thing is, it's so beautiful that there's so many people there that you got to be around a whole lot of people,
Yeah.
which uh, which is not always fun. Let's see, trying to find where we went. I'm having a hard time finding it. Oh, well. I'll try to find it and send you pictures. We're family from the truth. I think you'll like that.
Okay. I would love that.
So let me go ahead and stop the video. I want to ask you a question here.